I'm Shivani Gupta. I'm obsessed with small to medium businesses growing. As business owners, we take so much risk and we want to make sure it's worth it. I believe one of the best presents you can give yourself as a business owner is to be able to learn how to scale your people, your profit, and your processes. Hi, everybody, and welcome to Grow Your Business podcast. I'm Shivani Gupta, and I'm your host. One of the things that business owners and entrepreneurs speak to me about all the time is that this whole notion of DEI, how can we use it to grow our business? So I wanted to give you 10 tips that have been shared with me over the years and how you can use DEI in terms of being able to grow your business. Now, let's define what DEI is. It's D is diverse, E is equitable, and I is inclusive. So DEI is what a lot of larger businesses have decided and know that for workforce, it's crucial in terms of its success and sustainability of any business. And so whether you're a small to medium business, how do we actually take some of these things into account? So step one particular idea might be to be able to commit to DEI, looking at some of the statistics showing what it can do to your bottom line, as well as knowing that it's the right thing to do. And how do we actually commit to DEI? Well, one way is to have things on DEI on your website, making it more public, showing that you've got a sincere commitment to it and making sure that it's perhaps even a core value for your business. Another way that you might be able to do it is to get leadership buy-in. So what we want to do is make sure that your senior leadership in your business, whether that's a business of 10 people or whether it's 500 people, how can we be fully committed to the DEI efforts and making sure that we are championing them and making sure that we're modeling inclusive behaviour? Another way might be education and training, and it could be that you specifically provide DEI training and ensuring that employees understand that and also how that links into their leadership. This could be a series of workshops or seminars. It could be even online courses. There's a lot of things available, but it also could be just as simple as an awareness strategy and education that can be built upon that. Another way might be to link this into the way that you hire people and how do we implement certain practices that can promote diversity in hiring. And so some of the ways that have been tested by a lot of different companies is, for example, what is a blind resume review, making sure that the panels that are interviewing them have some diversity, and perhaps even doing an outreach to unprecedented communities. I know there's an organisation that I currently work with, and one of the things that they're trying to do is get more Aboriginal Indigenous people of Australia hired into their businesses. And so they're reaching out to some of those communities to see how that can be done better. Another way is to review your policies and ensuring that your policies are inclusive, ensuring that any things that need to be updated from a HR perspective, just that there's things that might come across as biased or discrimination, and how can we remove some of those things from our policies and making sure that we're inclusive of people from different backgrounds and lifestyles and communities, again, in terms of what happens there. The other one is fair compensation, ensuring that your compensation and equity is there across all genders, across all ethnic backgrounds, and this pay gap that exists in so many countries, even just around gender and certainly around ethnicity, that is equitable and it's transparent and people know what they're getting in relation to some of the people near them. Making sure that you've got diverse leadership. What that means is making sure that there's some diversity in your leadership, making sure that they've got some programs that perhaps identify people that can be developed. When you're looking at a talent pool, how can we actually take things then people from underrepresented areas? How do we get them into some leadership roles? So again, we have that diversity in thinking and diversity in being able to action things around DEI. Another way is to look at what's called ERGs, or employee resource groups. And they're really providing some support from communities for underrepresented employees again, and getting some feedback from them in terms of how can we incorporate and make you feel a lot more inclusive in this particular business. Also making sure that you've got transparent reporting, reporting some very simple things as part of your annual reports, your quarterly, your monthly updates, in terms of the fact that this is the progress and the work that you're doing around DEI. and holding some of your leadership people accountable in terms of seeing how they're actually meeting some of their diversity goals in the day-to-day actions that they take. And perhaps one last idea might be continuous improvement. It's not you'll get that right, and then everything will be fine from there on. And so one of the things you want to do is realize that this is an ongoing process, making sure that there's feedback within the teams, making sure you're adjusting your strategies and your policies, etc., accordingly is really, really important. Also, it's really important when you look at certain organizations that may be far ahead than you and they're noticing those results. And there's a lot of research, again, that shows the importance, but also the benefits financially, culturally, and also being able to engage and motivate your workforce, that there is no one size fits all. So try not to copy and paste from others, get ideas from them, but they might have a completely different business. They might have a completely different size of business. And so you don't want to compare that, but get some ideas from others and make sure that you look at the culture in your business and what you're trying to create and ensuring that you've got some ability to be able to make that difference. If you've got any questions or if I can link you to people doing great things in the DEI space, please reach out to Ask Shivani. And if you could take a moment to review and rate this podcast, it's always greatly appreciated. Thank you for tuning in. I'm Shivani Gupta, and you've been listening to the Grow Your Business podcast. I hope you got one idea that you can think about or perhaps even implement straight away in your business. Thank you for listening. Follow me on Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn under Ask Shivani. Remember, I call it Ask Shivani, so please send me your questions that I can address in this podcast for you. And I would also so appreciate if you went to the Apple Podcast to rate and review this podcast.